Hey y'all, hey, it is Galanda B, and today we are talking about the role of mindfulness in mental health. If you are new here, again, my name is Galanda B, and I'm an emotional awareness coach dedicated to helping you connect and understand your emotions through mindfulness, enabling you to experience greater joy and peace in your life. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about mindfulness, but not in terms of the buzzword mindfulness, but in terms of how we can use it to help us in our mental awareness, right? So there is a very common definition for mindfulness: paying attention on purpose in the moment without judgment. That was coined by John Kabat-Zinn, right? Paying attention on purpose in the moment without judgment, right? The role of this in your mental well the role of mindfulness is not about clearing your mind, okay? That's not what mindfulness is. And sometimes we get confused between meditation and mindfulness, right? Meditation is a structured practice, something that you do on maybe you set a time every week, but it is structured. Mindfulness is a moment by moment awareness, right? It is a tool that you can use to help manage your mental wellness. So I have a lot of good points that I want to make here, so I want to consult my notes to ensure that I don't miss anything, right? All right, so why is mindfulness helpful to us? All right, three main reasons. One, it helps us to shift our focus from imagined reactions. That means it helps us to get out of the future that hasn't happened, that we don't know that's going to happen, right? And brings us back to the present moment of what is actually going on in this moment, right? Anxiety is about projecting into the future. Mindfulness is about keeping you grounded right where you are, right? Another thing that mindfulness does for us is give us space for regulating our emotions, right? When we're mindful, we're paying attention to where we are, noting that, and then being able to tap into our awareness to be able to decide how we want to respond rather than react. Another thing that mindfulness does for us is to help us build resilience. And resilience is about our ability to adapt when there are situations that are unknown or uncommon to us. So mindfulness is giving us space. Mindfulness is making us more resilient and perhaps even more compassionate in how we move through this world, right? Okay, so what are some mindful practices that we can do in everyday life? Y'all know my favorite is the breath. But today I'd like to share with you all a particular technique for breathing called box breathing. And in this technique, you will inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold the exhale for 4 seconds. You can do this for anywhere between 30 and 60 seconds. And this practice helps signals our parasympathetic system that we're okay, right? It also helps to bring our mental focus back into the moment, right? So just a little demonstration if you need, right? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Now that is an example of box breathing. You can find images on the internet if you like that might be helpful to you, or if you don't want to do that, feel free to drop me a message down in the comments, or even send me an email, and I'll happily send you a GIF that you can have on your phone that will help you learn the tool of box breathing. The second mindfulness tool that we can use to help us in our daily life is taking a break in between activities. That means instead of sitting someplace and going from one thing to the next, do something else. Stretch, move your feet. One of my favorite actions is a dance break, because music and moving your body is always a good way to break up the energy, right? So taking the time to move in between your activities instead of just going into the next activity without doing anything else, okay? Another thing you can do is mindful eating, and this is one of my favorites, next to the breath. My favorite practices is mindful eating. This is paying attention to your food. That means not looking at your phone while you're eating. And it's a full process experience. From the time you get your food, looking at it, right? Really tapping into your five senses as you interact with the food. Seeing the colors in your food, right? The depth of the different shades, right? Smelling the aroma of your food and what notes that you can detect. Hearing, although you may not consider hearing part of eating, but you might hear when you're actually cooking the food. Maybe there's a sizzle or a crackle or a pop or a boil, right? So listening as part of your process of mindful eating. How does the food feel to you? Not necessarily taste. And this may or may not apply depending on what you're eating, right? But what does it feel like? Is it soft? Is it hard? And then of course, taste, right? Is it bitter? Is it sweet? Is it sour? Is it salty? Is it some combination of all of these things? So mindful eating can be a practice that you do in daily life. And you don't need any extra tools to do it, but your intentional awareness. Putting your phone to the side and just paying attention to your food. If you want to take your mindful eating even a step further, you might ponder while you're eating your food, thinking about how did this food get to you, right? Thinking about the farmers who maybe grew the vegetables or raised the animals. Thinking about the drivers who brought the food to you, right? But that's a next level step. You don't need to do that. But if you want to, it's available, right? But really using your five senses to really be integrated with your meal. Now, I want you all to ponder and think about, where do you feel most distracted in your life and how you might be able to apply mindfulness to this area. I strongly offer to you to try one of the 3 techniques we've talked about today, whether it be the box breathing, taking a break during transitions, or mindful eating, and incorporate that into your daily practice. I'm not saying that you have to do it every day, but maybe select one and do it once or twice this week and see how it feels to you. And then maybe the next week, you up it to 2 to 3 times a week, right? Really start to incorporate these practices into your daily life. Now, that's a pin of what we're going to be doing today, but stay tuned because next week we're going to be talking about releasing shame and how mindfulness and mental health all intersect. Until next time, bye-bye.